Hey friends, happy Friday. We are so glad that Friday is here. The first full week of October. I cannot believe we are in the last 3 months of the year. So today's episode is a little bit of a different one. I've written a letter with 3 tips to you. If you're that woman who is fed up of dieting, you're done with the diet, you're fed up of starting every single week, every single Monday, starting a new diet or going back to the diet that has stopped working for you and you're just fed up and you actually don't know where to turn. Today, I am giving you all of the tips that you need to hear in today's episode to really encourage you to come off that cycle, because believe me friends, it is a cycle that we need to break, and we can indeed break it. With me in your corner as your coach, we are going to break this cycle so you can get the fat loss that you need and stop doing diets that, one, are a waste of money, two, a waste of time, and three, you definitely don't enjoy. So my friends, my name is Verona and I'm a qualified mindset focused nutrition coach, and I help women who have more than 5 pounds to lose do it sustainably without cutting out your favorite foods, carbs included, and help you keep it off and maintain it. Hey friend, welcome to Lose Weight with Macros, the Basics podcast show with me, your host Verona. If you're somebody who's overwhelmed by all of the conflicting information out there, you're confused about how much protein you should be eating, how to count macros, you don't have time to figure out your macros, and you're sick and tired of repeating the same old boring meals because it is exhausting, you are in the right place. This Lose Weight with Macros Basics podcast is specifically for you. You're the woman who wants to learn how to track your macros and do it sustainably, do it in a way that you can enjoy your foods and you don't have to cut out your favorite foods, and we're not here for that. So my friends, if this is you, grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your water, grab your matcha, your notepad and pen, because today's episode is going to be a juicy one. So buckle up friends, let's get it. So this is a letter to you. So dear women who's been dieting for years, you are not alone. We've all been there. I know it feels like you've tried everything and nothing is working, but that's because you haven't found the right approach for yourself yet. And that's normal. That's totally normal. And the thing is, when we're reaching those things, where we've come to that point where we've just dieted upon dieting upon dieting, we can get discouraged. And the very thing is, it's been years since you first started dieting because you tried every fad diet and fitness trend out there. Hello, I am with you. I did the same things. And now you've reached the end of your rope, because the truth is that you're exhausted from all of this quote unquote work. The work that it takes, not even to lose the weight, but that it takes to keep going with the fad diets that you know deep down are not working. Now you feel like your body is changing, but it doesn't feel like it's getting any better. Now the thing is, your body is actually changing, but it's not changing in the way that you want it. Instead of you feeling good about yourself after you work out or after eating a macro meal or even any meal, can I use this term gross? You start to feel grossed out about your body. You look in the mirror and you hate your reflection. You don't even stare in the mirror long enough to see your reflection. All you see when you look at yourself is fat. That's literally what you say to yourself, not the fact that you've got a high or even a little portion of body fat. You suffer from body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia is seeing yourself in your body in a way that you're not actually. So even if you are at a healthy weight, you still see yourself as fat. How do I know that? Because I was the woman who did exactly the same thing. It's almost like I'm writing a letter to myself. But you feel gross about yourself because no matter what you do to improve things, absolutely nothing seems like it's changing. And you're frustrated, you're fed up, and you're like, you know what, it's not fair. It hasn't been fair for years. When is it going to be my turn? You're fed up of being in groups where women are being celebrated for losing 2 pounds. Can you even lose 2 pounds? But let me tell you now, at the date I'm recording this episode, this is the date. The date is the 20th of September 2022. And we've got 15 weeks left of the year. I don't want you to enter 2023 with the same weight loss goals that you had for 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019. You get my picture. I don't want you to enter that. As your wing woman who does this with you on Focus on the Fat Loss and does this with you through one-to-one coaching, we are not going to enter 2023 with this. Now, this isn't some woo-woo message or some rah-rah razzmatazz, woo, well, that's all well and good, Verona. Okay, you don't want me to. Well, yeah. If you have come to this podcast for the first time, or you've come back and you've listened to every single episode, one, I love you being here. Two, what have you done so far with the information that you've heard? Have you made the steps to change? If the answer is no, why? Don't get into the new year with the same thing. I want to lose weight. You've got 15 weeks to make a change. November is when we're doing the next round to focus on the fat loss. You need to get yourself on that. If you really want to lose weight, then head over to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/focus and sign up. You've listened to me talking about focus on the fat loss for weeks. You missed the September round. Now we've got 15 weeks left of the year. Imagine losing 1 pound of fat every single week. It might not happen realistically, but just imagine with me. Imagine you lost at least 1 pound of fat 2 is a bonus, but you lost as a minimum 1 pound of fat every single week. That's 15 pounds of fat gone from your body forever because you learned how to do this. You learned how to come away from dieting. You learned to reach out for help and support because you've come to the end of the road and you've come to the point where you can't do anything yourself. Imagine. And that's what today's episode is about. Now, you're not alone. I want to encourage you. You're not alone. We've all been there and I've been there myself. And with the right support, you can reach your goals. And the thing is, sometimes we don't always have that person to guide us in the right direction because there is so much misinformation out there. There's so much nonsense out there when it comes to diets. And you know what? The diet industry is not going to settle down. It's going to get worse. The diet industry has predicted that there's going to be billions of people on a diet and they're looking lucratively. They're looking to make money off of this. At least 1 in every 3 people are going to be on a diet. That's what they've predicted. But it's a money-making scheme for them. Now, if you're fed up of putting the money into their pockets and you're always being scared, and when you're hearing adverts like this, when you're hearing me talk about my programs, when you're hearing me reach out to say the doors are open for you to work with me, and you're saying, you know what, I'm scared that this program isn't going to work for me. I'm scared because why are you so different? Why are you going to help me and these other programs didn't help me? Why are you going to help me? Why won't I help you? Why will I not help you? Why would I open my mouth, take my time to sit on a podcast and say, I'm going to help you when I know I can't? What? I don't have time for that. I've got lots of things that I need to be doing. If you know what's on my plate, I've got better things to do than come up on a podcast and tell you nonsense. I might as well cancel my podcast if I'm going to do that. Why would I not help you? Why would this program not help a woman like you who is struggling with dieting? I was struggling with dieting myself. I was struggling with all of these fad diets. So looking at those women with skinny bodies and pining and being like, oh, I can't wait. Look at how she lost the before and after. All I needed to do was pay £250 per month for a shake. That in the end, it made me violently sick twice. But then other people are absolutely religiously saying this will help me lose fat. No, it doesn't. It might help you lose water weight and it might help you lose some water retention, but it does not help you deal with the restrictive and binging patterns that you get yourself in. Now, as a coach, I specialize in behavior change. It's about teaching you and understanding why you do the things the way that you do. Why do you look in the mirror and call yourself fat instead of saying, what is it that I can do now that will help me to lose weight realistically? And I'm going to teach you how. So we're talking about why and we're talking about how. And then we're talking about how you can implement those behavior changes. I didn't go to study to make this up. And the reason why I've chosen this model and this way of coaching is because that's exactly what helped me. Faith, counseling, mindset counseling, and applying those things practically. Not everybody is cut out for macros. That's fine. If you want to work with another coach who doesn't track macros, absolutely go for it. But make sure you commit to it and make sure you stick to it. But when it comes to how to come off this road and how to come off the diet industry, how to come away from the diet industry, think of it like breaking up with someone. Because you've been doing this for so long, this is all you know, this restrictive methods, and you're scared. Some of you celebrate Halloween. I personally don't celebrate Halloween. But you have children and you're going to have children come and knock into your house and you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't be that neighbor that doesn't have any sweets for the kids. And if I don't have any sweets, they're going to egg the door and then I'm going to have to clean the door and then I'm going to do the walk of shame when I open the door and then everybody knows why your door was egged because you didn't give the children sweets. So instead of doing that, you're buying bucket loads of sweets. You're buying them from Costco. You're buying them in bulk and you're buying way more sugary treats and foods that you need. Some of you like candy corn. Some of you don't like candy corn. You are like, absolutely not. I forbid that coming in my house. And some of you and others, Haribo, others is Reese Buttercups, others is like you're buying sweets and you're pretending it's for the door knockers, but really and truly it's yours and it's your secret stash. Wherever you are at in your nutrition journey, wherever you are at on that, and you're tired of having to feed like a flock of lambs or a flock of lions every single day, and you don't know what to do, how to do it. I was there. It's not something that you need to feel bad about. I'm telling you, you don't need to. I know you do, and there are times that you do, but I just am trying to encourage you. Don't feel bad about yourself. We've all been there, and I was just there like 5 years ago. This was my life 5 years ago. But I'm telling you, through these things that I've done, I don't put on these coaching programs for no reason. The reason why I put them on it is because they are science-based. They are scientifically based and proven to work. They've worked in my life. They've worked in other coaches' lives that I've supported and I've grown up in terms of my qualifications. So it's important for me to acknowledge and help you to understand that where you're at, I know where you are at. I'm not saying I know what you're going through because I don't know what you're going through. I'm not saying for me to tell you I know what you're going through. That's patronizing. I'm not going to tell you I know what you're going through if I haven't been what you're going through. Parties were hard. Gatherings were hard. Social gatherings were hard. And then even you keep telling people that I'm on a diet. And then they're like, when they see you eat something remotely nice that you want to eat, aren't you on a diet. It's almost like you got a parrot in the house and just like be quiet. But there are a couple of things that I want to give you today. It's going to be a short episode, but there are a couple of things that I want to be able to give you. One of those things is give yourself time to get in touch with your body. Now, if you're somebody who's been dieting for a number of years, your body is going to need time to adjust. It's going to need time to undo those negative mindsets that you've had, which is why my program is about mindset focus when it comes to one-to-one. Absolutely, the bedrock of the coaching is mindset based, and that's what we work through. We work through undoing all of those negative mindsets, habits, and beliefs, and we're helping you build new ones. But one thing is, what we do is we start to expect instant results. Like, porridge, you put a bit of hot water in it and then you cover it up, or you put it in the microwave and within 3 minutes it's done. You add your syrup or you add some more water, you stir it, whatever. We want those instant results because that's what we've been taught by the diet culture. The diet culture gets us, it got me to believe that if you just do this, then you are going to get this. And oftentimes there is a lot of things that get put out there. There are women that I've met and I've gone to post on those, those fake pages. What they do, those fake pages that end up stealing people's before and after photos, and they're saying basically what they're doing, they're promoting a pill and they're promoting a substance. Now, those type of women I don't necessarily work with, and hear me out when I say that. What I'm saying is, because if you're that woman, you might feel I'm not saying this to ostracize you or isolate you. If you are that woman that's looking for that fat loss pill, you are always going to be drawn to that, unless you're saying to me, Verona, I've tried Optavia, I've listened to your Optavia, I don't know how you say the word, I've tried your Optavia, I've tried the fuelings, I've tried all of those things, and I was ravenous and it hasn't worked for me. I'm ready to come away from that type of eating and have sustainability. So there's women I've worked with. I was a woman who came from MLM supplements and the disordered eating and the restrictive foods. I've come from that myself. I've come from keto. I've come from Slimming World. I've come from all of these slip shake diet. But when it came to Christmas, when it came to these kind of festivals, when it came to normal birthdays, when it came to birthday cake, I was afraid to eat my own birthday cake because I felt fat if I instantly had a bite. And this is what needs time to be dealt with, because we've expected instant results, because that's what's been drummed into our heads for time and time again. We've been given an incentive to become a lifetime member. A lifetime member for what? What am I being a lifetime member of the diet culture? No. As you can hear, I'm very passionate about this, because what happens with the diet culture is, and I've said this in many episodes, it's not against any of those things. And I could talk about loads of other things, but I don't I might do it in other episodes. But when it comes to getting in touch with your body, now I've jumped from a couple episodes, so I'm saying all of that to say that the diet culture is very persuasive in getting us to think that we need to get quick and instant results. And I talked about a characteristic of a woman that wouldn't be suitable for me as a coach, and I wouldn't be suitable for you as your coach, because you will hear how I'm talking. You can listen to episode 137 to see an example of how I coach my clients, especially clients who are looking to change. Now, I specifically use that example because if you are constantly going to these quick fixes and quick pages, then you are not going to last on focus on the fat loss. You're not going to last in nutrition coaching. You're going to blame me and you're going to think, no, this ain't working for me. And the reason why you're going to do that is because of your expectations. You are still stuck in that place where you are looking for quick fixes. And what has to happen is you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision to get to that place where you're like, I've been dieting for years. I've been doing these quick fixes for years and they have never worked for me. You have to decide, I'm ready, I'm done, I'm ready to change. Once you've made that decision to change and you've set that in motion, absolutely we can have a conversation to talk. But if you're thinking that I'm going to give you a quick fix, I'm going to give you a shopping list of what to eat, don't eat this, don't eat that, you're going to find my coaching very challenging, because that's not what we do. My coaching is centered around you, and it's also centered around behavior change. Now, when it comes to getting yourself in touch, giving yourself time and getting in touch with your body, one of the things and one of the reasons why you're doing this is because your body might be starving for real food. Because if you think about diet, they tell you a whole list of foods that you don't eat, but you never really know what you can eat. But all you do know is that you're ravenous and you're hungry. Think of calorie counting. If you've focused on calorie counting for some time and you have brought to the idea of, okay, I'm 250 pounds, maybe I'll eat 1,200 calories a day, or maybe I'll eat 1,500 calories. But what happens is by the time it reaches 5 p.m., which is your normal dinner time, you have no calories left. And now you're beginning to feel guilty. You're like, wait, they said that I cannot go over my calories. If I go over my calories, I'm going to regain everything I lost and more. No, that's a scarcity mindset. That's the message of the diet culture. That's the misinformation of other women that get in the mixture, and then actually they are tainting the message, or they're believing a lie, and then it's now they believe the lie so much, it's now been put in our minds as if that's a truth, and there's nothing far from it. You do not do The only way we categorically gain weight is if we eat way more than our body needs. One of the things which can make it difficult for women to do is forgetting your previous diet experiences. When you come to focus on the fat loss, this is one of the things that we actually go through. There is a module talking about ditching diet myths, and we do go through the diet myths because it's important for us to go through those diet myths, because it's going to take some time for you to forget that. And you know what? It is actually like a breakup. You get so used to having a routine. When you have that routine in place, you wake up in the morning, you wake up to a good morning babes or good morning hi hun or whatever pet names that you had. In the morning you have a text, on your way to work you have a text, on your way to work you send a voice note, or there you have these things that you're doing set mornings, or when you're living with someone, these sort of things become a routine. When you lose that person or you're no longer with that person, your world feels like it has been shattered, and it takes time for you to start rebuilding and having a new routine or a new normality for you. If you think about the pandemic, everybody in 2020, we were all used to commuting, and it literally, the world shut down. One person came over and that was it. It spread like wildfire, and everything had to physically shut down to stop the spreading of the virus. But however, we've never gone back to that normal. We've had to adapt, change, and adjust to living a new way of life. And that's the same thing when it comes to diets. We are learning to forgive ourselves for the past mistakes and previous failures. And that again is going to take time. And when it comes to losing weight, we are our own worst critics. But you've got to let go of the shame. You've got to let go of the shame. You've got to let go of the guilt that you might have associated with your past diets. It's almost like you are restricted. You are controlled by an outside source or an outside person that's constantly telling you, don't do this. And the message of it comes across as if you do the thing that they're telling you not to do, you feel guilty and ashamed for that thing. And that is a form of control. That is a form of coercive control. That is how the diet culture has become. It's become toxic from what it was created to do in the beginning. Now, there are newspaper articles of well-known diets out there that have said or have boasted about people paying them money, but you not really getting the whole full solution. And you might be listening to this and be like, well, it's worked for me. Okay, but why are you listening to this podcast? If it's worked for you and you're defending it so much, why are you listening to this particular episode? Not that I don't want you here, but I'm going to challenge that thinking. If you're going to come at me with that defense, and I can't hear you, but if you're going to come at me with that defense, well, it's worked for me, where are you now with that diet? Are you still paying? Is it like a gym subscription where you're paying gym subscription for the last 12 months and you've never been in the last 12 months other than going to sign up? Are you still paying shares to that company and you're paving the way for somebody else? Or are you actually getting results in the fact that now actually how it's working for you is you just were listening to a podcast, searching for a podcast, and it's like, oh, this seems interesting, let me have a look, listen. Are you now at the place where you're confident? Now you have been able to forget your previous diet experiences. You no longer look in the mirror and you're no longer ashamed, or you're no longer guilty with your past diets. Are you at that place? And if you are, fantastic. If you're not, that's different. Then that gives you the answer why you're here. The more a message is constantly drummed in your head, especially if it's a negative message and it's a message about restriction, it's going to take a little bit longer for you to forget that message and for you to do that, which is why I had to get counseling and why many of you might have to get those counseling. It's not easy. It's not easy when you've been drummed in a negative message into your mind over and over and over and over again, that you go back to the point where I can't do this. And then you go out to have a moment of escape where you're going back to your foods and then you're doing the same habits. It takes a lot of work to undo this. It's not impossible. It's not all at one time either. It's done at different increments and different stages. So you're not overwhelmed, which is why I always start with what your goals are. What's your goals? If you listen to episode 137, where I'm talking about the coaching, I always ask my clients, what have you done well? Because we're so bombarded with all of this list of don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. I want to hear from your mouth what you have done well. Even if you're telling me you've done something on a diet, as a coach, I'm able to draw out something to encourage you with and build on something that you already can do in your life before coming to give an agenda, which I don't don't do anyway. But before coming to give you more rules and more list of what you're already used to, I don't work with you like that, because you're never going to change that way if I'm coming to keep repeating the same things that you've always done. It's about helping you to change, understand why you do them. So 3 things that you can do if you're somebody who's been dieting for years. It's about giving yourself time to get in touch with your body. Remember, your body is changing, and forgive, not forget, forgive your previous diet experiences, and that can take time in itself. Obviously, when we're coaching, this is something that we go a lot deeper in, and we're working through these things. We're working through the mindsets of this, and this isn't cut out for everybody, or not everyone's cut out for this. At this moment, you might not be. In September, when I released Focus on Fat Loss, you might not have been in that place at this time. You might be in November. You might be now. In terms of you want this on a one-to-one level. Wherever you are at, it's important to understand that you can forgive yourself for the previous diet experiences that you've had. It takes time. That disordered eating that I had, it rocked me. It challenged me. It doesn't now, but it challenged me. That moment where I was told the toxic message of, you're not working out hard enough. You're not doing this. If you're not seeing results, it's you that's the problem. I broke down. I broke down and I said, I can't live like this, because I was starting to binge and I was starting to hoard and starting to store food. Like I'm going into hibernation, like what the animals do when they start to gather food and store it so that they've got a constant supply in winter. That's what I was doing, except it wasn't winter. It was every day. Because of that restrictive disordered eating, where I'm being told a message, you're the problem. And that is why diet culture is toxic. That's why you're getting so many people that will come against it and say anti-diet culture, because of that toxic message, because it gets you to blame yourself. You may need to reduce the amount of the types of food that you eat and have balance, the higher balance towards the whole foods, and still having in your foods and your favorite foods that you like, which is why I have become physically a macros coach, to help you do that. We're going to end it on that. Forgiving your previous diet mistakes, because you can. It doesn't mean just because you've made mistakes once, it doesn't mean that you are not going to find something that can help you. So if you're somebody who wants to understand what Focus on the Fat Loss is about, head over to the website, vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/macros guide. Download the macros guide, have a look at that, and see if this is something that you can do. Have a listen to the other episodes. Have a listen to episode 137, the live coaching episode. Have a listen to that. Listening to how I've talked today, listening to a couple episodes back from here talking about mindset. Have a listen to those. And I mean listen when you're in a place where you can't get distracted or you don't get distracted. Bring out a journal and write out the pros and cons. I want to lose weight. I'm thinking of working with Verona, and I'm thinking of doing Focus on the Fat Loss. Once you've downloaded the macros guide, this will give you a rough understanding, an idea, an introduction to what macros is. Then go over to the page, vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/focus. That's where you can reserve your space. There's only 20 spaces for 20 committed women. We start in November. No, we're not going to go through Christmas. No, we're not going to do Thanksgiving, but I am going to teach you how to navigate those holiday seasons for yourself. So that is the challenge for you. You write out the pros and cons. Am I ready to make this change now? Write down another section in your notepad. What do I need to forgive myself? What diet experiences have I had previously that I need to forgive? Would love to hear some of your answers. If you feel confident enough to share these with me, support@vanutritioncoaching.co.uk is the email address to share them with me. You can do this. Your body is going to change, and it's going to change, but it's going to take time. If you're ready to do the journey with me as your wing woman, then I would love to be your wing woman. I would love to be your coach to do this with you. And now I'm going to hand the baton over to you to take those steps of action. And those of you who feel brave enough, who feel confident enough, or even if you don't feel brave enough, I'm ready to do this with you. I can't wait to see your applications ready for November. And that's it, my friends. I can't wait to catch you over on the next one. Don't forget, you can leave a review over on the Facebook page. I will link it below, facebook.com/VA Nutrition Coaching. Hey friend, you made it to the end of the episode. What was your biggest takeaway from today's episode? Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review over on iTunes. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about today's episode, or you need help, then you can contact me over on Instagram @VA Nutrition Coaching Podcast, or email me support@vanutritioncoaching.co.uk, or you can head over to the Facebook page VA Nutrition Coaching Podcast. It helps us reach even more women women who are fed up of dieting, don't know how to lose weight. They're frustrated with following Sally's results and they're not getting any of their own, and they just finally want to shed some pounds and do it in a way that they can sustain and they can enjoy. But my friends, that's a wrap for today's episode. I can't wait to catch you on the next one. Until then, friends, stay healthy, stay blessed, and remember, if you haven't already downloaded your 5-ingredient recipe pack, you can go to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/recipes and download your 5-ingredient recipe pack. Who said healthy eating was boring? See you next time, friend.